acid reflux or GERD. Do you have it? You're not quite so sure. Well, hopefully this video might help you better understand what it is to actually have the symptoms. You might even notice that these things might happen to you. However, I would not use this as a substitute to avoid seeing a doctor, because yeah, you might diagnose yourself with this, but only a real doctor will understand what you have 100%. So make sure, even if you're 100% sure you have it, just to be on the safe side, go see a doctor. That being said though, one of the first things you might notice is you have constipation a lot, or you have diarrhea, or both. I know this definitely happened to me in high school. It was just something I just couldn't avoid, and it happened almost on a daily basis. So this is one of the things that might come along with it. Second thing is a huge thing too, is that you might feel like there's something stuck on your chest. At first, since I grew up with this stuff, I thought this was normal, but after eating a particularly large meal or really eating like a lot of greasy foods, I would just feel like there's just something stuck in my chest, and I just thought it was just a feeling of, I thought that was a normal feeling of feeling full. In reality, it's just that it was just one of the symptoms of GERD or acid reflux. Now the third one is a bit confusing, because a lot of people might associate this with a feeling of throwing up. In reality, that's not really the case. The best way I could really describe it is that after eating a lot of food, again, or a lot of greasy foods, or certain types of foods like coffee, that's not really food, that's drink, but you might notice that you kind of get a hiccup, if that's the best way to describe it. You kind of get a hiccup, and you kind of feel like something's coming to your throat. It's not like a vomit kind of form, because the vomit feels more aggressive, it feels really nasty. This is more of just like, you just feel like something's coming up to your throat. It's more maybe like a liquid or something like that, and it's just a weird feeling. But again, you might have grown up with it, so it might be complete normal, but in reality, that's not normal at all, and that's actually a bunch of acid coming up to your throat, and that's not good. Once you guys eat a lot of greasy food or a lot of food, the muscles that actually keep acid down loosen up, and with that, our stomachs are pretty darn weak with that, so the acids end up coming up places it shouldn't be coming through. So if you guys have acid reflux, make sure you guys get 100% diagnosis, and have to go see a doctor to see what you can do about it, because this is not just something that's something that should be taken lightly. I used to take it really lightly even after I got the diagnosis, but after further research and really finding out what's wrong with it, you can end up getting stomach cancer because of this, because it's really damaging to you. The fourth thing I would say is that you might feel like you have a lot of constantly sore throats, and in reality, that's not sore throats you might be having. It's reality, you might be just damaging your esophagus, your throat, because of all of the acid coming up all the time, and that's not good. Again, like I said before, the acid in your stomach is really strong, and it really does damage your body because it goes to places it shouldn't be going to. The fifth thing I would say you might notice too is bad breath. No matter how many times you brush your teeth, you floss, you have impeccable dental hygiene, you might notice that I still have bad breath. And in reality, that's because you have GERD, and that's something, it's like a chronic acid reflux, and it happens constantly. So that's just one of the symptoms that comes along with acid reflux. Like I said before, I'm not a doctor. I just want to clarify that I'm not a doctor or a specialist. I'm just giving you guys my personal experience with acid reflux, because like I said before, doctors might actually explain it one way and it's the correct way, but sometimes I found it hard to relate to and apply it to myself. So I guess I use dumber down versions of whatever they say, but it's just stuff that it's so common that doctors don't really know how to explain to you, because they don't know this. They just know the book terminology, but they don't really know what it feels like, the best way to explain it. So after seeing this video, you might think to yourself, well, I might have it, I'm not quite so sure. Is there any way to prove it, or kind of test it out? And actually there really is. So next time you guys eat a full meal, pay attention. Like, do you guys tend to feel like everyone's eating a full good meal, and then you're there kind of struggling because you feel like something's coming up to your chest, like I mentioned before? Maybe you feel like something's coming to your throat. Another huge thing is that you really feel these symptoms when you eat pizza. I love pizza, but one of the hugest things that we have to avoid pizza for is because it's really greasy, and it has a lot of tomatoes, obviously tomatoes and the sauce, and it has a lot of cheese, and all that stuff is not really good for us, because again, it really acts up our acid reflux or GERD. So pizza is just one of the dead giveaways, but most junk food or fast food places will have you react to these things. But if you eat small portions of these foods, you can kind of avoid it, but again, I would avoid it altogether if you can. But again, like I said, I understand you. It's really hard because a lot of things revolve around fast food, so I totally understand you on that part. So I break the rule very so often. So the third one's kind of a dead giveaway. A lot of people don't really talk about this, but to me, this is probably the most dead giveaway besides just the stuff coming up to your throat. The third one I would say is the hugest dead giveaway is that you tend to have sore throats although you're never really sick. At first I thought that I was getting sore throats all the time, and in reality it wasn't because my defense was really strong and I never really got to a full sore throat. In reality it was because I kept eating a bunch of fat food. I kept eating a lot of food, things I wasn't supposed to be consuming, and because of that my throat was suffering because all the time I would just get a bunch of acid. And again, these are just things that you have to look out for, and some of these are kind of dead giveaways, but a lot of the stuff in this pretty darn general, I'll be completely honest with you, and it's stuff that you've probably dealt with all your life. So again, it might be kind of hard to recognize because to us this is just something that has happened since forever. But again, I would highly suggest going and seeing a doctor if you guys can, and if you guys can't, I'm making a new video next week addressing what you can do and things that you should do if you have acid reflux. Anyways, hopefully this video was somewhat helpful to you. I know a lot of the stuff I mentioned was pretty darn general, but I thought I maybe could dumb it down because I've seen other YouTubers kind of describe it and it's kind of too professional to the way where it's like, you kind of like want someone who has maybe personal experience with it. I think it's a lot easier to understand it from that. Anyways, have a good weekend, stay acid free, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.